This video is going to be a little bit different. In this video, I wanted to explain a little bit more about who I am, why I'm here, why I'm making these videos. So let's get started. So, I'm Kurleem. I'm an American expat who moved to Amsterdam in February of 2019. I moved here with my dog and my wife, and we had both lived most of our lives in Florida and had never really lived anywhere outside of Florida. So we thought, hey, what the heck, let's try to live in a different country. And for me, top of mind was Amsterdam in the Netherlands because I'd been here a couple times and I just loved the vibe of the city. And you know, when we had to make that decision, we said, let's move to Amsterdam. And I got a great job opportunity that brought us here, and our lives have changed completely since. So I consider myself a car enthusiast. As long as I could remember, since I was a little kid, I was always playing with cars, and that hasn't really changed. I just play with bigger cars now, and I love it. And living and growing up in the US, it's a very car-centric culture. In Florida, you have to drive everywhere. So when I moved here, I had to fundamentally change the way I thought about a car. Because we live in Amsterdam, you don't need to own a car. And I've covered this in a previous video, why I decided to own a car. But ultimately, you really don't have to own a car. You don't need a car for your daily life, especially if you live in a city like Amsterdam. And for me as a car enthusiast, that was a bit of an adjustment. But what I realized, especially after owning a car, is when I do use my car, it's for pleasure, it's for leisure, it's not out of necessity. I don't have to use my car on a day-to-day basis. I'm fortunate enough that I don't have to commute, especially commute by car. And so when I drive, it's for me. It's to go somewhere, it's to drive for fun, it's to drive on a road trip, and I really like that. I like not having to drive to sit in traffic like I used to do in Florida. I used to have a 30 to 40 minute commute each way, always in traffic, and I really don't miss that aspect because even car enthusiasts just don't like traffic. We don't like to sit and drive in traffic, but we like to drive for pleasure. And fundamentally, that's the biggest change for me here, is that now I pretty much drive for pleasure. I like that when I do get in the car and drive here, generally speaking, it's not during rush hour, so it's not during you know, the morning or the evening. I'm not stuck in traffic. When I do drive, generally speaking, there's less drivers on the road, and it makes for a better driving experience, which I really like. I've covered this in previous videos as well. When I am driving, and there are fewer drivers, but the drivers that are there are better disciplined because they're people who, generally speaking, have to drive. And that's what I really like, is I'm sharing the road with people who kind of think like me. They may not be car enthusiasts necessarily, but they have more of a driver-focused mindset than people in the United States who have to drive out of obligation. So that's something that I really like. On top of that, I've had some really cool car experiences since I've moved here. So of course there's renting different cars that I've done, renting some cool cars, now owning a car that frankly doesn't exist in the United States and Canada, the BMW 1 Series. So that's a whole experience in and of itself. But on top of that, I've driven exotic cars on Zandvoort racetrack. I've drifted BMW M cars, you know, 200,000 euro M cars.
Hey, upstairs. A little bit earlier off the gas.
I've driven this car and a couple other cars at top speed on the Autobahn. This is just around 210 kilometers per hour. I think the car is still quite stable. I'm still quite comfortable, but you know, you do feel things a little bit more. These experiences are things that I don't think I would have experienced if I lived back in Florida. And these are the experiences that drove me to start making videos for this channel. I wanted to share what it was like as an American who moved to Europe and had this fundamental change in the way I think about cars. Even though I'm a car enthusiast, I've fundamentally changed the way I think about cars. And I wanted to share those experiences with other people, you know, whether you're somebody from the United States, somebody from the Netherlands, or anywhere else in the world. I thought it was kind of my duty to make these videos to share my experience and how fundamentally different it is to be a car enthusiast, an American car enthusiast, especially living now in Europe. So being an American car enthusiast living in Europe has been amazing. These experiences I will cherish and I will remember for the rest of my life. And you know, there's more to do here. There's even more cool car experiences. Who knows how long the German Autobahn will allow for unrestricted speeds. I want to take full advantage of that while I can, because that will become historic, you know, to say that I've driven on the Autobahn at top speeds without speed limits. I know within the next few years that's going to go away. So I want to live and experience these things and share it with you. Share it with YouTube, share it with whoever wants to watch and follow me. You know, I'm doing it for fun. I love it, and why not share it with you? So long story short, that's why I'm here. That's why I'm making these YouTube videos, to kind of share the American perspective from both sides of the pond. You know, I still follow the American and Canadian car communities, and there's a lot of things that I can experience here that automotive enthusiasts back home, you know, only dream about, like the German Autobahn, like some of these rare cars, wagons, different auto brands. So now I feel like I have a unique perspective of being an American car enthusiast living in Europe, kind of seeing what the American car culture is and seeing how that's a little bit different here. And so these are kind of the videos that I wanted to make. I have several ideas, but let me know what you think in the comments below. What would you like to see from this channel? As an American guy living in the Netherlands, what would you like to see? What are some of the things that you think would make for great videos? Love to hear it, and please leave those in the comments below. In the meantime, I have some ideas. Here's a little bit of a hint for an upcoming video. Put it in the comments below if you can guess what it is, but it's something that will be coming soon. Until then, if you've been subscribed, thank you. If you're new here, please consider subscribing if this is the type of content you want to see. And I look forward to reading your comments and responding to them and interacting with you. You can also follow me on social media, at Kerleem on Twitter, at Kerleem on Instagram. You can follow me there for more kind of day-to-day updates if that's what you want to see. Until then, thanks for watching. Really appreciate it.